Good evening. My name is Jim Hollis, and I'm the president of the Prince William County Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association. I want to extend a very warm welcome to all those here this evening. I want to extend a very special welcome to the family, friends, and representatives of the law enforcement personnel to whom we pay tribute this evening. The Prince William County Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association was established in 1995, and it is the association's privilege to join the Prince William County Police Department to sponsor this evening's tribute. This evening, we pause to remember and pay tribute to 17 law enforcement personnel from various agencies who lived or served in Prince William County at the time they died in the line of duty. But before I turn over the program to our Master of Ceremonies for this evening's program, I wanted to take this opportunity to recognize and most sincerely thank all those in law enforcement and their loved ones for their commitment and service to the communities in which they serve. It is my privilege at this time to introduce this evening's Master of Ceremonies, Major Jarad Phelps of the Prince William County Police Department.
Good evening. As Jim said, I'm Major Jarad Phelps, I'm the Assistant Chief of Operations for the Prince William County Police Department. It's my privilege to welcome you to the Prince William County Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association's annual Fallen Tribute, Officer Tribute, which pays special homage to those fallen heroes who have lived in or served Prince William County. Tonight we honor 17 officers whose lives made a difference. Their lives made a difference not only to their family, friends, or co-workers. They made a difference because they taught and reminded each of us what it means to be a law enforcement officer. Tonight, we not only honor their sacrifice, we honor how they chose to live their lives as a member of the law enforcement family and a member of Prince William County community. Our heroes and the other members of the law enforcement family present tonight know the risks of our chosen profession. We go to work each day knowing this could be our last. Some would say we're an odd bunch for undergoing such pressures each day. Some would question, aren't you scared? My response, and I'm sure many of your responses, would be yes, we are, but not for us. We're afraid for our family, our communities, and our brothers and sisters in blue. But it's not the fear that drives us. Rather, it's our passion for the job that is born out of wanting to make a difference and wanting to make our communities a safer place to live and wanting to help those in need. We don the uniform each day with pride, knowing we stand committed to protect and serve and willing to take on any challenge, no matter the dangers to us as individuals, because we know we will make a difference. The heroes we honor tonight made a difference. And how they touched our lives is what we honor tonight. In addition to the heroes we honor tonight, we must always remember the families, both immediate and extended. Our families give up themselves each and every day to support us in our efforts to protect and serve. And without their love as our foundation, we could not be successful in our pursuits. Yet it is our families who are left behind to deal with the loss and to find a way to pick up the pieces when their lives are shattered. For the families of our heroes, we will always honor your loved ones. And we will always remember you and the sacrifices you have bared. So let us begin our tribute tonight of our heroes. At this time, I would ask that you please rise and remain standing until the conclusion of the invocation.
Harry, go. Ready, cut. Forward. Hard. Salute. Present. Arms.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets as the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Arms. Right. Feet. Forward. March.
Please bow with me in prayer. Eternal God, on whom we are dependent for life and blessings, we have gathered to commemorate 17 special officers, as well as all law enforcement officers and their other first responders among your servants who have given their last full measure of service to their community and neighbors. They embodied the ideal of citizenship, that with God-given rights come responsibilities and obligations. While protecting neighbors and community, they humbly balanced justice with mercy. Though we can never repay our debt to these officers and their families, we must do what we can with all that we have to live our lives in such a way that affirms their legacy of selfless service. May their good works come to full fruition in our public service. Help each one of us as officers, support staff, civilians, and family members of the Prince William County Police Department to emulate their excellent service, so that our fellow citizens see us as credible public servants who perform our duties with integrity, respect for others, and who fairly uphold law and order. Let us never assume our homage is a substitute for such service. Rather, let our gratitude for the sacrifices of those we honor this evening and the sacrifices of their families keep their memory alive through the generations to come. Lord, we also ask for your abiding presence to accompany all law enforcement officers in the long and lonely hours of duty. Give them wisdom, the gift of perceptive discernment, and strength to endure unjust condemnation and physical abuse to which they are sometimes subjected. We commend them to your loving care because you have appointed them as your authorities. Yea, your word even calls them ministers to preserve good and order. That duty is dangerous. Grant these brave men and women your protection and unite them safely with their families after their watch is ended, is our prayer now and daily. Amen. Please be seated.
C.D. Hylton High School Troubadours, directed by Mr. Tommy Tutwaller, and to our police chaplain, Gary R. Councell, for the invocation. As the Troubadours depart the stage, it's the time where I recognize the VIPs that are standing out or sitting out into the stands. But I can only think of really the first 2 rows here of individuals who are really the VIPs, and that's the families of our fallen officers. Please rise and be recognized. We proceed tonight. Our first speaker is Officer Walter O'Neill, Prince William County Police Department. Walter has served as an officer for 7 years and is assigned to D Squad in the Central District. Walter.
Thank you, Major Phelps, to Chief Barnard, to various members of the command staff, honored members, the Citizens Police Academy, family and friends. I have prepared a speech this evening, and I'm going to deviate from it just a little bit. I was a stranger to tragedy until February 27th of last year. I would often attend these ceremonies and reflect on the different names that were called and read the stories as to what happened. Learn the lessons, so that way I would too not make the same fateful mistake. That's what we're taught to do. It's what we're trained to do. But no one trains us to deal with the aftermath of that effect. No one trains us to sit here on an evening like tonight and to deal with the emotion of what you have to see and do in the days following those tragic events. So thank you to the Citizens Police Academy for allowing us this opportunity to pay tribute to the fallen officers from Prince William County. It is because of this opportunity we are allowed to keep a moment and keep our promise to never forget. It's unfortunate that these ceremonies will continue to happen in the future, as we are already at 44 or 45 officers lost in the line of duty this year. But as I look out into the audience and I see my brothers and sisters in blue, as I see the recruits who are going through the academy now, we must remember that even though these incidents really do try us at our core and force us to deal with things that we shouldn't have to deal with, we have to remember why we're here. We have to remember the oath that we took to serve this community. And we have to remember to continue to work with the community and a society that right now does not view us as friends, does not view us as protectors, but instead as an enemy. We must avoid having a us versus them mentality. We do stand on the right side of the thin blue line. We are that barrier between good and evil. And if we lose sight of that, then we are no better than those out there who seek to do harm upon us. So as we reflect tonight and throughout the rest of the week on the officers that have fallen here in Prince William County and throughout the world, we must remember the oath that we took. And we must remember those that are here this evening, the family members who are still carrying on despite what they're going through. It'll be a trying week this week. It'll be an exciting week this week, as members from law enforcement throughout the world gather upon our nation's capital to again pay tribute to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So let us reflect tonight, throughout the rest of the week, and throughout the rest of the year, and continue to honor our commitment to never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Our next speaker is Officer Dana Russell of the Prince William County Police Department. Dana has served as an officer for 2 years and is assigned to D Squad in the Western District. Dana?
So I've been thinking for the last month what to say when tonight came. I brainstormed and kept thinking, what can I talk about that would not bore everyone? It took me a while, but I finally had an idea. One question people have a tendency to ask officers is how you became an officer or why. Due to this anticipated question, tonight I'm going to tell you my story of how and why I'm standing before you in this uniform. Like Major Phelps said, my name is Dana Russell and I currently work on D West. I have been an officer for almost 2 years now. I did not grow up in a law enforcement family like a lot of people. My father was a teacher and my mother a school bus driver. My father was a volunteer firefighter, however, when I was younger, and this is where I believe the public safety aspect appeared in my life. I grew up in a small town in Oregon called North Powder, population 500 people. Due to the location of my hometown, any crashes that occurred on Interstate 84 or any other emergency in or close to town, the volunteer fire department and rescue team, known as the Quick Response Team, would be paged, and they would then respond to assist until the Oregon State Police could arrive on scene. This was the most I knew about law enforcement growing up. I thought all officers did was catch people speeding on the interstate and help with crashes or any major crime that may have appeared once in a blue moon. My dad would always come home from responding to these calls, and I remember being the first one to ask, what happened? Keep in mind, when I first started asking this, I was only in grade school. Not until I was older did I realize my dad probably spared me many details due to my age. Even if the details weren't always that exciting, that never stopped me from asking. Fast forward a few years and I'm a senior in high school. I had decided I was going to attend college and major in either A, mortuary science, or B, forensic science, thinking that I wanted to become a medical examiner. When applying to colleges, and after learning of some antics of one of them, I decided on forensic science in Chaplin University, which is located in Honolulu, Hawaii. The next 4 years I attended college in Hawaii, taking classes to obtain my Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science degree. When I was a senior in college, I was required to complete an internship prior to graduation. Originally, I wanted to complete my internship with the Hawaii State Medical Examiner's Office, but due to my class schedule, I was unable to and had to find another option. I ended up interning with the Department of Public Safety Narcotics Enforcement Division. During this internship, I helped my supervisor with prescription fraud cases, conducting surveillance, creating files, and making charts. Towards the end of my internship, I got the opportunity to accompany another investigator on surveillance of a possible meth house. To do this, we were assisted by Honolulu Police Department's helicopter and crew. The helicopter did not fly with doors and held 4 people. It was referred to as H1. When we left the helipad, we flew to the property to take photos of the suspected house and the surrounding area. After the photos were obtained, the pilots decided to give my supervisor and I a tour of the island of Oahu, since it was a nice and quiet day. We made it to the North Shore, close to Turtle Bay, when H1 was called in to assist patrol. There had been a vehicle that left the scene of a potential armed robbery. To this day, I don't remember the initial details of the call because I had no idea what was being relayed over the radio, but all I remember is the pilot said this, quote, "You are along for the ride, don't talk. If you have to throw up, lean down and to the right," end quote. The helicopter completed a 180-degree turn and immediately took off. The adrenaline rush and gravitational pull was insane. We got to the area of the scene and started following along the main road. We ended up locating the suspect vehicle, traveling down one of the main roads, and continued to stalk it. The helo would drop down close to the road and then go back up, circle around, preventing the driver from knowing we were following him. As we were doing this, patrol units were being directed to and converging on the car. Patrol units were finally able to surround and stop the car. The occupants were pulled out at gunpoint, all while we in the helicopter watched from the air. I will never forget that rush I felt as all this was happening. It was that day that my dreams of being a medical examiner had disappeared and my focus shifted to law enforcement. When I got back to the office that day, I immediately called my parents and told them all about it. My mom later told me that was the day she knew I was going into law enforcement. Although it would be another 5 years before I was able to put on this uniform, I was not going to let my dream fade away. I applied with the Vermont State Police right after I graduated college, and during that process I failed the polygraph. I thought my dream of law enforcement was over forever. I eventually ended up in Virginia through a job offer that came from a government contracting company that I learned about from a good friend from college. While working for that company, I had a supervisor who was previously a detective up in Howard County, Maryland. I had told him my story, and it was him who encouraged me to not give up on my dream. With his support, I applied to his old department and made it through the entire hiring process. But in the end, I was not chosen to work for Howard County. This was just a bump in the road, and I was determined to get over it. I then applied to 3 more departments, and eventually Prince William gave me an offer. I now know why it didn't work out with the other departments. This is where I was meant to be. I don't believe this is a career you can choose to do. It is a career that chooses you. Some have tried to choose it, and they soon realize that it's not for them. Others have tried to leave, and they get pulled back in. It takes courage and strength to do this thankless job where you experience people on their worst days and are sent to solve everyone else's problems. Because of this, it's difficult to answer why. Why would anyone want that as a career? The only way I can answer that question is with another question. Why would I not? Why wouldn't I use the strength and courage I have to help others, especially when the majority of others are not willing and are not up to the challenge? This career exposes us to the evil of the world on a daily basis. One thing that allows me to deal with all the evil is the knowledge that there are others who feel the same as I do. Every brother and sister who does this job alongside me every day are those people. They are not just co-workers to me, but family. My immediate family supports me from afar and is there to remind me where I came from and are the ones who influenced me to be the person I am today. But there are things in this career that only your work family will empathize with and understand. My work families who have seen me through the good and bad times. They were there when my academy classmate, friend, and fellow officer Ashley was killed in the line of duty. They were there when the people I attempted to save didn't pull through. They are there when a person decides to run or fight. They are there to help when you may not know what to do next. They are also there to encourage and keep things lighthearted, like when they remind you the number of reports you've written since P1 came out, and they are nothing more than human when a patrol ship gets the best of you. No matter what, I know they will be there having my back, and if anything was to happen to me, that they would have the back of my family, and that is part of my why. I want to end my speech tonight with a passage from Blue Line Life. I choose to believe. I believe in the power of a calling. I believe in honor and sacrifice, in courage to the danger and strength to the struggle. I believe in hope. I believe in the power of will, in justice, in a new day, and in making a difference. I will never stop believing no matter what comes my way. Some may hate while others turn a blind eye. There will be burdens and risks, loss of brothers and sisters, and the challenge to keep going. No matter what confronts me, no matter the danger, I will keep my faith, my hope, and my courage. I am a defender and a peacekeeper. I am a sheepdog. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Walter, for your words and your stories. I hope they serve as a reminder for all of us as to why we got into this job and why we continue to do it day in and day out. It is now my honor to introduce Chief Barry Barnard, Chief of Police for the Prince William County Police Department. Chief Barnard has been a member of the Prince William County Police Department since 1976 and has more than 40 years of law enforcement experience. Chief?
Trooper Jose Cavazos, 1993. He was killed when he stopped a stolen car. He was protecting the citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Detective John Gibson, 1998. Detective Gibson was guarding the nation's capital, protecting the citizens in the Capitol when he was shot and killed. Officer Paul Didymo, in 2010, was killed in a vehicle crash while responding to a call for service, protecting the citizens of the District of Columbia. Officer Ashley Gwendon, 2016, was killed in responding to a domestic violence call here in Woodbridge in front of a home. Trooper Cavazos, 27W19. Detective Gibson, 36W21. Officer Didymo, 50E27. Officer Gwendon, 35W30. Those numbers are the panels at the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial that bear their names. All the law enforcement officers we honor here tonight have a panel. They're on the east wall or the west wall. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful memorial. Most of us have been there. Most of us have been there many times. There's a reflecting pool, the lions, the inscriptions, "In hope there is valor," many others. And if you sit down and watch, you'll see friends, family, loved ones, colleagues come to the east wall, come to the west wall, searching for the name of someone they knew, or looking for names of people they've heard about, they read about, who died tragically defending their communities. So we have memorial services, and we have plaques, and we have awards. And we remember how they died. So whether they were shot, died in a car crash, died in a helicopter crash serving our nation in Afghanistan, died in a training incident in water rescue, however they died, what's really important, the reason we're really here today, is to remember how they lived and to remember them for who they were, who they are, and to honor their memories. And sometimes it comes to us very quickly. We shared a good laugh, we had a good meal, we told a good story, we played softball, we went to a movie. And then we reflect back at the names that we will honor here tonight, and we, start asking ourselves questions. What can we do to remember that these were people? They attended memorial services. Some of them might have attended this service. And we need to do what we can to remember that they were our friends, our family members, our loved ones, and think about things that are true to them, unique to them. Did they like to see the movie first or read the book? Were they left-handed or right-handed? Did I ever shoot with him or her? Did I qualify together? I think we did. Yeah, we did that. I know we answered a lot of calls together. Let me tell you about this one. And I went to his 30th birthday party. That was a hoot. We've got to remember stories. Go beyond the names on a panel. It certainly is beautiful to see their names inscribed at these very special, honorable places. But I think it's so special when we do what we can to talk about them, to mention their name, to tell the stories. Sometimes I can remember things very well, and sometimes I'm not sure I remember some of the details. And I knew some of the folks that we honor here tonight. And you knew many of the folks that we honor here tonight. We all did. Can we remember their voices? How they laughed, how they smiled? Can we remember sitting in a patrol car with them? You rack the car. Okay, I'll do it. Thanks. Hey, did you put gas in the car? Now, sometimes we didn't have enough cars. I'm not sure if that's the case today or not. But it's just so important as a community at large and as a law enforcement community that when we think of the 17 names that are here tonight that we will honor, that we are honoring as we gather here, that we think about who they are. What contributions did they make? We know this. We know this. They were all committed to serve. They were all passionate. They were all so very courageous. They displayed tremendous heroism. But let's remember, they were once teenagers. They played ball. They asked out a date. They got that driver's license when Mom and Dad said it was time. Then they had to go ask to borrow the car. They got C's, sometimes they got A's. They all went to some sort of recruit training, basic training, and of course, they all graduated, went on and did wonderful things as a law enforcement officer. They all took an oath to serve. So while we think of them tonight, I encourage you, think of stories. Think of what they did to impact your life, to make a difference in the community. In a minute, you'll see on the screen, we'll read their names, and you'll understand. Yes, I remember her. I remember him. I remember we had a meal one day together. I remember he gave me a lift back from the shop when I had to drop my car off for service. I remember how happy he was when his children were born. I remember going to church with him and share those memories. Share those memories. Talk to the survivors. Tell them how much you care. We try to understand as much as we can, but the truth is, they understand so much more. So much more. Share with them what you know. You know a lot. Talk to one another about the people that we honor here tonight. About their valor, yes. About their police work, yes. About the circumstances of their death, yes. But also, talk about who they were as a person, what they liked to do, Did they know how to whistle? Did they play ball? Did they have a special hobby? Who were they? And what do we know about them that we can share with one another tonight, here tonight, in the atrium, in the days ahead? This is Police Week. There's a lot of police stories to be told. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I want to thank the Citizens Police Academy for hosting this event. We all want to thank the survivors for being with us this evening. You honor us with your presence. We thank everyone for remembering our heroes. Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Thompson, Deputy Chief of Police for the Prince William County Police Department, will commence with the roll call of our fallen heroes.
Justice of the Peace Thomas Semmes Meredith. Trooper Jackie M. Boussard. Officer Paul T. White, Jr. Investigator Claude Everett Seymour. Trooper Johnny R. Bowman. Sergeant John D. Conlon III. Officer Philip Michael Pennington. Trooper Jose M. Cavazos. Special Agent William H. Christian, Jr. Detective John M. Gibson. Officer Marlon F. Morales. Second Lieutenant Francis Joseph Stecco. Special Agent Chad L. Michael. Special Agent Morris and Limon. Officer Paul Michael Dittamo. Officer Chris Young. And Officer Ashley Gwendon.
Chaplain Councell will now offer the benediction.
You may remain seated. Gracious Father, we part in the certainty of your constant care knowing that the names of those remembered tonight are indelibly written in your book of those whose service for others exceeded even their own well-being. Their devotion to duty has inspired in us greater courage, faith, and loyalty to those vital values. May our united prayers for your sustaining strength, persevering power, and continuing love be granted for all our officers and their families throughout all of life's vicissitudes and joys, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. As we conclude this evening's service, let us remember those that have served before us, especially the 17 from Prince William County that we honor tonight, and the 44 officers nationwide this year alone that have lost their lives in the line of duty, 15 of which have died by gunfire. In their honor, let us renew our steadfast commitment to serve our community and make a difference in someone's life. Let us also commit to perform our jobs in the safest manner possible by adhering to the tenets of the Below 100 initiative of wearing our seatbelts, watching our speed, wearing our vest, by remembering what's important now, and never becoming complacent, because our families deserve that. And let us always remember survivors and the sacrifices they have endured. I want to thank you for attending, and I also want to thank the Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association for hosting this event. Stay safe, and please take care of each other. And please join us in the lobby for light refreshments. Have a good night.